Hey, what's up everyone, Blade here, and welcome back to another video of Persona 5 The Phantom X. Inside today's video, guys, we're going to be going ahead and going over Summer Miyu here, in which is going to be the next character coming over to Global's area. Now, this one's kind of interesting because she is kind of the new jump for AoE DPSs, so a lot of people are considering if they want to summon for her or if they want to skip her. So we're gonna have, of course, my take on this. We're gonna be going over her entire kit, and I'm just gonna give you guys my brutal, honest, just opinion on this. If you do want a TLDR of the whole video and don't feel like watching it, don't worry. As a TLDR here, I do think she is a skip character if you're planning to go ahead and go for Luce. Reason being, Luce himself is going to give you another free character alongside for the ride, so it is a better investment to wait till then. But that's all I think about it. Let's go ahead and talk about the character, what she does, show off her animations, and have some fun. Alright, so Summer Puppet is a character that is straight up derived off of pure SP recovery here, in which everything that she needs to go ahead and do will heavily be influenced by her SP recovery. By having the most that she can get, which is going to be at a max of 283.9%, she's then able to go ahead and deal the most damage she's able to do and easily do her rotations and damage pretty darn easily. The more you have with different just what's called SP markers, the higher you're going to be able to do your resonant count, and pretty much is going to allow you to deal a ton of follow-up attacks, get stronger off the follow-up attacks on a certain amount of turns. Now, every time she hits a person with her follow-up attack, it does grow even stronger, and at the end of each ally's turn, it will consistently build this up and allow her to deal some insane numbers. Now, this is the first character that really does influence off the SP type of deal here, and so when you pair that with some calculations of just crit damage and things of this nature, she becomes an absolute force of nature with the water that she wields here. Now, for this character, the one thing I have to say, she is a little bit squishy. That is one problem with her that can end up happening if you don't have the right units alongside of her. She can die fairly easily, but before she ends up dying, she does deal a ton of damage. So we're gonna go ahead and get straight into that as well. Now, you're gonna end up building her like any other DPS here, but everything kind of starts with just the skills. Starting off with the skill 1, which you see on the screen, this is going to be Jellyfish Reverie, in which this one allows you to go ahead and deal ice damage to all foes by 178.7% of attack. Now, this could possibly end up changing on the global end, because on global they didn't give us a stream going over her information, but I'm taking this as a grain of salt, as if it's just going to be like Akihiko where they don't change anything. So I do apologize if some of this is wrong on global end, but she has a chance to freeze for 2 whole turns. Another part about this is on the skill 1, she's able to restore 40 of her SP, which is very helpful when it allows her to not only deal as much damage as possible, but it allows her to get that SP back for other skills. If the SP that is restored, it also is able to go ahead and exceed, this will overall help our character as well. But that's just the first skill. You're going to use this quite often if you're like around the A0R0 area here, and this is mainly just because this allows you to go ahead and build up your stacks. This allows you to go ahead and get as much things ready while you're already in your form, which is going to be your skill 3. We'll talk more about that once we get there. Now, the second skill, which is more of your finale type hit, you can use it a little bit early as well if you're just looking for some damage and just keep going out of your ocean domain, though I usually wouldn't recommend that. This second skill here is called Cerulean Concerto. This one does ice damage equal to, or at least equal to 178.7% to all foes, and whenever your ocean domain is active, every last 1,000-fold waves that we end up doing, all those stacks, will increase our damage by 10%. Now, essentially, as I said before, you can use this early. You're usually going to be using your skill 3 into the skill 2, so you're able to go ahead and use this early as a skill 3, skill 2, skill 3, skill 2 rotation. Though I don't really recommend it, because that 1,000-fold wave stack is something that you're allowed to go ahead and build over time. This is going to be based on your follow-up attack that you're easily able to do, which is going to come from your 3rd skill, aka the form that you're going to always be in. So it's always wiser to use your skill 1s instead of the skill 2 and just save this for like your final round damage. But that depends on the player and depends on how you want to play her. As for the main star of the attraction on the game itself, as well as for her kit, this is going to be the skill 3. Light Wave Leap is allowing you to pretty much get on your surfboard, you put up your ocean domain, you're now immune, or at least you're able to cleanse your spiritual elements that you have, and you gain null down, null spiritual control on all elements you can't get hit with those, right? Here's the problem though. In this form, you're not allowed to do any melee attacks, you cannot do gun attacks, and you're not allowed to use any items. But the cool part about it is you do extend your buffs at least in that same said, or at least the duration of your buffs in that same turn itself by 1 whole turn, which can be very, very helpful. And alongside of this is where she's able to deal, obviously, her follow-up attacks. This is going to be what you use all the time. First round, this is what you want to do because it allows you to build up your stacks that you need to deal more and more damage. Well, every 1,000 wave stack that we end up getting increases our tidal surge skill damage by 5%. This is going to obviously cost a certain amount of SP, which is by like 30 each time, but it can stack up to 4 whole times. In this said little field, or I guess this form we can call it, she does get resonance. This is all going to be based on her follow-up attack itself, and this is going to obviously be your main damaging point. Only downside about her is she's not really downing anyone with these resonance stacks, so you do have to keep that in mind as well. Now, everything itself, although it sounds like a lot, isn't really all too much. She does have a lot in her kit, but the simplified way of knowing how this works is skill 3, always going to be your starter. That's going to be how you get things going. You build up your stacks by going ahead and getting follow-up attacks, and you pretty much end it off with the skill 2. Now, your stacks also are getting built with the skill 1 as well, so I mean, like, you're also getting stuff from that, but your skill 2 is your big boy damage. Now, she has her 2 passives, which also influence a lot of this as well, being that one of them gives you a 30% damage increase in Ocean Domain, hence the reason you want to stay in it, and the other one gives you an increased attack base, which is going to be based on your SP. The more SP you end up having with this character, the more attack you're obviously going to be able to push out. And with her being into the awareness side, which we're going to move over to that now, her awareness at A0 is actually allowing you to deal even more damage or even more little extra stuff, depending on how much SP you restore. So based on her A0 here, during battle, she's able to go on her surfboard, which is going to be opening her Ocean's Domain. By going ahead and spending her SP, she's able to continue dealing damage, and this increases her max SP to 200, and at the start of the battle, it sets her SP to 0. Well, whenever an ally gives her an action, or at least does an action, she restores 15 of her SP, and by restoring a set amount of SP, she gains certain buffs. One of the buffs for 100 SP can be 10% attack, the other buff for 200 SP can be 10% damage, the other buff for 300 SP can be 12% crit rates, and the last buff can be 24% crit damage. Now, if you ask me, this is already amazing here, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys have heard it. Yusuke Kitagawa in the future at level 100 is able to kind of cover her up at the level 100 A6 stage. So if you wanted to go ahead and invest into this character a little bit more and actually get even more value out of here, her A1 and A2 aren't that bad. The A1 allows her to decrease her SP cost of her tidal surge by 40%, meaning you're able to keep more of that SP on you, meaning you can easily get to restore your SP even faster and get these buffs even quicker. This also allows you to get up the 1,000-fold wave stacks, meaning her damage is going to be a lot better as well. And whenever she opens her Ocean Domain, it extends all of her effects during this said duration by 1 turn, which is great to actually have. This gives you more of a long-term investment side of the deal if you really want to use Miyu a lot and have a very good AoE DPS. In fact, I did it on my TW account as well, which is pretty much something I don't regret because she is pretty darn good. Though, if you want a little bit more out of her, the A2 is also insanely good too, seeing that it gives you a 20% critical damage increase, and after using Tidal Surge 4 times, she's able to then use a special one that does more damage. Not only that, but does not cost any SP and gives you a stack of 1,000-fold waves. So it does have some benefits with it. You're pretty much able to get some more damage out of this while giving yourself 20% crit damage, which is always great. We all love crit damage at the end of the day. That lets us deal, at least that lets us deal the most that we can deal. Now, of course, the rest of the awarenesses is honestly up to you if you want to go for. I don't really see majority of them worth it. I want to say the most I would go on this character is A1. A2 is pretty okay, but that's like if you're looking way far in the future and you do plan on using her for a very long time. Other than that, you can kind of skip out on this. As for the weaponry for her, she has some really cool weapons themselves, being the Dreamy Mermaid, her 5-star weapon, and then her 4-star weapon, a regular surfboard, but it's called the Clear Jellyfish Sky. The Dreamy Mermaid is the one that I would recommend a lot of people getting, especially if you're trying to invest into her for long term as a DPS, because she gets a critical damage buff for 36.3%. She's able to, of course, increase her critical rate based on her resonance critical rate based by 16.4%. And whenever she's spending SP with a skill, she's increasing her damage by 6.8%. All of this can stack up to 5 times, or at least the bottom part can definitely stack up to 5 times, which allow you to deal some crazy numbers. This is way different than the 4-star weapon and definitely does make a difference, because if you look at the 4-star weapon, you're only getting yourself a 24% attack increase and then another 43% attack increase for Ocean Domain. Yes, it does work, but you're missing a lot of things such as like your crit rate, extra damage, and the crit damage, which will make this character immensely overpowered. But overall, pretty darn good to use in general. Another cool part about this character is she does have 3 good teams in the future that she's going to end up using. One of the few that you guys are probably going to see is going to be the Beachflower, Marion, Turbo, and Ange team. And the other one you can end up seeing quite a lot that I actually used quite often was the Wind Tempest, Turbo, and Ange team as well. Now, she has one in the future that you can use, which is going to be alongside Fox. I wouldn't say it's like crazy good, but it is an option, which you guys can try to at least prepare for in the future as well. But with that all out of the way here, we got to go over the character and how I feel her to be. At the end of the day, this character is a DPS, and if you do want an ice DPS who's an AoE damage dealer, she is perfect for you. She's actually insanely good. She's worth going for if you are looking for an ice AoE DPS. Now, if you're a person who really don't mind this and you don't really care about meta stuff like that, you can very well skip this character. I say honestly, she's worth to skip, especially if you're going for Luce in the future. It's just better to go for one other AoE DPS rather than going for 2, because it makes more sense to summon on Luce, seeing you're getting 2 characters. Now, if you just don't plan on going for Luce, then this is definitely your character you want to go for. Or if you're a collector, it's your character you want to go for. She's definitely worth it. She's pretty darn cool, and she is the new damage like ceiling high for a lot of the AoE DPS dealers for a little bit. So she's going to be worth it in that standpoint. But it's up to you if you want to get her. Let me know if you end up pulling her as well. And until next time, everybody, stay safe, stay sharp. Peace out.